Welcome to you all. In the previous session, we were discussing about the Tripuras, the three forts which form a human being. The three forts, and the lowermost fort, a middle one, and the top one. For us to understand, it is like that. And they are explained in terms of Grandhis, the Brahma Grandhi, Vishnu Grandhi, and the Rudra Grandhi. Grandhi are blocks. We call them as knots. They block the flow of energy from the lower chakras to the topmost chakras. The yogi consciously rises his Kundalini. Kundalini is a new word for most of them must be knowing, but I'll explain. It is the fine energy which rises from the lower chakras to the top chakras. A yogi consciously rises that energy to the top chakra. Why does he do that? He does that for liberation. What is liberation? Liberation is our attachment to various things, or our understanding of various things, the levels at which we function. We get over all these things. That is liberation. Like, to be very precise. In one of the slokas, they say, Hiranya Varnam Harinim Suvarna Rajatastrajam. The energy, when it rises to the top chakras, it is like a golden, it is in the golden color and very, very fine. We all know this corn, right? That small things, the finer things which are there in the corn, the fine things which hang from a corn. The energy is of that size, they say, as it creeps up to the top. So all this happens when we become lighter. When the yogi tries to cross the Brahma Grandhi, he comes across or he has to overcome the basic survival instincts. The basic survival instinct, like the fears. The person will be operating either in the fight or flight mode. There is that heaviness in the person. And these are manifested in terms of three gunas, or the qualities which we can see in ourselves. Ravli ma'am, can I request you for the three gunas slide, please?
Okay.
Yeah. So the gunas basically are categorized into three types. The tamas, which is the heaviest. Then the rajas and the sattva guna. All these qualities we can see in ourselves. See, this tamasika, a person can be categorized as a tamasika when the person has a lot of greed. We can see it in ourselves, because we do not like someone to analyze us or say you are this, right? We are in the process of introspection, and the agenda or at the dead end we see a self-realization, a self-realized person we will be. So there will be greed. The person will be full of greed. He wants more and more. The person is confused. There's a lot of confusion as to what is to be done. There is no clarity, rather. There is attachment. And there is heaviness in the body. There is lethargy. Do not want to do anything. There is this mental dullness. The person feels very lazy. Yesterday we were seeing that the cause is ignorance for a person to operate from the lowest fort, or for him to, he will not be able to pierce through the Brahma Grandhi because of all these qualities in the person. There is illusion. He'll be running after things. Basically, there'll be this fear of death. So these qualities categorize a person as a tamasic. So these qualities will not allow the person to pierce through or to cross that level of consciousness or that layer of consciousness which we have discussed as Brahma Grandhi. This is a knot, right? And then comes the next fort, which we were talking about, or the layer of consciousness, which is the Vishnu Grandhi, which is at the Anahata chakra, the next two chakras. It means the third and fourth chakras, which are the Manipuraka and the Anahata. They are tied to the Vishnu Grandhi. So a person cannot cross this level of consciousness, or he cannot pierce through the Vishnu Grandhi, they say, when the quality of the person is categorized as Rajasic. He will be action-oriented. He's very dynamic. They'll be full of energy. There's excitement. The person works a lot, very ambitious he is. And these are some of the things ego comes into play. It's me. I have all the power. You don't have that. It's me. The self-centeredness. There is desire. You see, Chaturveda Purushartha, they say, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharmaraja had the desire to be very dharmic. That is a desire too. It means he was being Rajasic. The desire for a lot of Artha, wealth, that is a desire too. Kama, pleasures. Any desire comes under Kama, all the pleasures. Moksha, the sages, they do all the penance. They do the penance for moksha. There is a desire for moksha there. So that is all, any desire. Here, I think I've mentioned in one of the previous sessions that there is a desire for siddhis. When a person is operating in the middle fort, out of the Tripuras, three is three. Tripura, when we say three, means three, the number three. Okay. So there is this desire for siddhis as well. There is that a sense of power. Even if you are kind, you are loving, there is that power of love. You feel the power of love. Or you desire for power. There is that craving. This comes under the Rajasic quality. These qualities are, they represent the middle fort. So once we cross these, when we conquer all these areas, we will be able to pierce through the Vishnu Grandhi. That is, you are qualified to go to the next level of operation. That means when the person is tamasic, he will be identifying himself, or the qualities that he would be exhibiting will be all these. And when a person is Rajasic, the qualities he'll be exhibiting will be these: the egoistic personality, the self-centered. Whatever work that he may do will be woven around himself. I was asking my Guru Garu, it is enough. Is it not enough for a person to be sattvic, sir? Then the beautiful answer he has given is, one has to go beyond the sattva guna, he said. when a person is sattvic, he's very wise. I was of the opinion that a person who has absolute control, absolutely compassionate, wise, happy, I thought that is the dead end of it. Guru Garu says that one has to cross the sattva guna as well. Even the third fort has to be conquered. This is the third fort. So I think this explains a little. Yes. Nirguna tattvam jagruti. Yes. So you are just there. So how will a person behave? How will a person behave when he's beyond all these gunas? He's just there. He operates, but he's not attached to any of these qualities. Then we see a combination of these. You see, a person might be rajasic, but there might be a little sattva guna in that. Sattvic rajas, we can say. So you can, like the example I could give you, the best example is a king who's very benevolent, who's very powerful, very authoritative, yet very kind. He's very kind. He helps somebody, he gives somebody something. That is sattvic rajas. So more often there is an overlapping of these qualities. Most of the times there is a shadow of sattva on this. There is shadow of one quality, one area on the other. So our aim is to overcome these qualities or the facets or the dimensions of our persona and move further. That is, these are mostly like the filters we have. When we do something, say, we are working through the filter of ego. There is behind that job we do, there is this I behind that. It means the filter, there is a filter for anything we do. When these filters are removed, that is what we are aiming at. We are aiming at removing these filters. So what is to be done? What is to be done? The Angushtamatra Purusha is meditating on the Paramatma. That is the meditation we are doing. The Paramatma is like a tiny dot from which OMkaram is emanating or coming out. That's a very crude word. Emanating is the right word. The Angushtamatra Purusha is meditating on that tiny dot from which the Angushtamatra Purusha can hear the OMkaram. As a gross body, we are seeing this process happen. That is the crux of this meditation. For us to understand better, you have the same core, you have the same dot. I have the same tiny dot from where the OMkaram is coming. See, there are millions of people around. Millions, imagine millions of tiny dots there. See, our understanding shifts from seeing the persons to listening to that dot. That is the shift which happens in this meditation. With this understanding of all these gunas and all, I can say that listening to that OMkaram, Angushtamatra Purusha, listening to that OMkaram is an effortless effort. We don't have to do anything to clear all these gunas. We don't have to do anything. Just focus on or help or allow the Angushtamatra Purusha to listen to that OMkara. There are these millions of these tiny dots all over. Just see only those dots. In the meditation, as the process happens, at some point of time, we see all the dots which are joined together. That is referred to as the ocean of consciousness. That is the divine consciousness. That is the supreme consciousness. And we are the tiny dot. The beautiful comparison Guru Garu gives is, he says that you are like the wave in an ocean. Just imagine you are going in a flight, look down, you see the tiny things just popping up. We are like those tiny dots which are popping up, the tiny waves. As you come down, you see the wave. As you go a little higher, you see the dot. That tiny dot of consciousness is this I, this individual. So he says that there is these waves are an integral part of the ocean. These tiny dots constitute the universal consciousness. The very realization or the understanding that we are a part of that. You are a drop in that ocean. This huge ocean has so many drops. There cannot be that means this tiny dot does not exist separately. So we are an integral part of that ocean. Is that understanding? Just try to see this enormous ocean of consciousness, which is nothing but the tiny dots linked together, forming a huge ocean. A huge ocean of tiny dots linked together is what we should be able to see as we progress in the meditation. So how much time did I take? I think with this introduction, I will, and if any questions are there, I'll try to answer. They are the Brahma Grandhi, which is tied to the Swadhisthana chakra, the lower chakra. This is the Vishnu Grandhi, which is a knot, which is a block at the Anahata chakra. Rudra Grandhi at the, this is the highest level at the Agnya chakra. If there are any questions in this about the three gunas, in the next session, probably we will see what is to be done to become a nirguna. While being in this body, while operating from this body, we operate as an indweller, we operate as an Angushtamatra Purusha, while operating from this, all these, while with an understanding of these three bodies. What is to be done? What conscious efforts we have to make will be discussed in the next sessions. This is a beautiful slide which shows the Sushumna Nadi, which is the which supports everything, which supports all the processes. There is a beautiful information, wonderful information about Sushumna, the Ida Pingala. As Parameshwaran sir is taking us through the pranayama, these nadis will be cleansed and they will help in evolution of the soul. Evolution of the soul. Yes. Any questions, please?
Yeah, masters. Any questions, please raise your hand. Today's
Over to you, Parameshwaran sir. I request you to take us through the pranayama session. Thank you all.
Which slide?
Bindu samyuktam nityam gayandi yoginaha kamadam mokshadam cheva omkaraya namo namaha. Thank you, friends. Yesterday I was thinking of this only. I did not know that today she has explained beautifully about three gunas. See, when we are born with combination of three gunas as per our samskara. The entire universe consists of three gunas always. When all the three gunas are in balance, then we are in that state, the state which we are aspiring, right? Through nature. Right? And it is not static, as she was telling, moving. Because of our sadhanas and our activities, it keeps on changing, right? So tamasic people are not here. Fully tamasic means they will not be coming even for this sort of sessions at all. And mostly rajasic. And once we are in the 100% sattvic state, then also there is no need to come here because you are already in that blissful state. No more seeking is there. So it changes, and how to move beyond all this. Again, of course, as she said, we'll be explaining further. So the link with the japa, I just want to mention that's all. Yesterday, I think I said Jakaro Janma Vicheda Pakaro Papanasana. Just any chanting. Normally, when you say chanting japa, is normally initiated by a guru. So then a bija mantra is given, that japa. And always all those will be preceded by Om, because Om is the original, primordial sound. And Om itself is Brahman. And when we chant loudly, that is Vachika or Vaikari, we say, that is mainly for more tamasic and rajasic people, it is needed, because straight away you cannot control the mind. So your mind, see, goes one thought after another, always thoughts comes. So when your thought is single pointed, dharana, thought of only Om. So for that, so fast when you do the japa, there will not be gap. So you are thinking of only Om, 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 Om. And loudly, so in the beginning it is needed. Then go to Upamsva japa, whispering like. So Rajaguna people and Tamoguna people, definitely, and combination, we have to start like that. Then Manasika japa is superior. But and that's why everyday practice itself, from Vaikari to Upamsu to like that we can go, so that we slowly merge, then go to japa to ajapa. Non chanting at all, even mentally it happens. You are only listening, you become a witness for like that. Okay. And even pranayama, when you do, yes, nadi shuddhi it is called. When you inhale and hold, then exhale and hold like that. And in fact, completely holding of the breath is really called as pranayama. And if you check your breath, we are not breathing through both nostrils always too. One will be blocked predominantly, and it keeps on changing. So our Idanadi and Pingalanadi also blocks and gets opened. So for that, balancing is needed. If only one side is working, then accordingly our brain and everything system also will work. So we have to change and balance that. That is why Anuloma Viloma, inhale through left and exhale through right, and inhale there and exhale, come back. Like that, when you do, open up. But when you hold little more, it is more powerful. That is called Nadi Shodhana, Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. Cleansing happens. So as we practice, we should be able to hold more and more in either way. Kumbhaka after filling and Rechaka after exhaling, or Shunyaga it is called. Okay. So this you practice not only now, often if you practice, of course, empty stomach full, we cannot do pranayama and meditation, etc. You may go to sleep, and it's not advisable. You are altering the natural state of breathing, and you are opening all the nadis just by doing that. So if intensely, consciously, when we practice longer and longer meditation, that itself is another method to attain what you are aspiring for. So without fail, even before sleeping, you do pranayama, this Nadi Shuddhi, and followed by Brahmari is still ideal. Brahmari is the Brahmari. Brahmari means the sound of a female bee, that sound. It is not makara, something it's When you close, the sound comes Omkara, okay. But the subtle difference, Brahmari, is you touch the upper palate, sing, ring, sing, ing sound is the real purpose. You attain that sound, you feel that vibration, it vibrates completely. So that is Brahmari. This Brahmari pranayama with mudras you can do, even without mudra, eyes closed is okay. So when you close your ears, you know the beauty, exactly you will hear. You can listen to the sound internally. After inhaling, then you chant. So this also you can practice even before meditation and anytime. Of course, all pranayama except normal deep breathing should not be after heavy food, so that you will not change the system. You are not disturbing the system, right? You can modify otherwise. And it stands, it will be there. That is why 1 hour chanting, why? Its effect is there. And one more point I would like to say is, see, yesterday Ma'am was telling 8 hours or whatever, depending on our, again, nature, minimum 8 hours, 1 hour chanting, its effect will be there. It can be longer depending on our thought again, how you drain out, the more we think. And what is that we are thinking? Always about past and future only. Hardly we are in the present. And mostly past, and 90% are waste thoughts only, which is absolutely no use, that thoughts. So for that, whether you are cooking or whether you are working, doing walking or whatever it is, you chant mentally, manasika japa. See, before you are waiting for someone, so mind will be wandering and analyzing what happened, this, that, so many things, so fast. So at that time, think of Om, bring back your mind, Om, 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 mentally. So you see the vibration, whatever you are doing, and those who say, no time, multitasker and all that. In fact, multitaskers, many are wasting the energy rather than majority. I'm not telling all. This is what we can observe from surroundings, from our own. How much time? Once you get up and do pranayama meditation, you find there is no need for sleeping 8 hours, 9 hours. And your energy level, anytime you can get up. And no need for alarm, without using alarm. Even for going to airport, I stopped, not only now, years back. Simple, it is here, you can give alarm. So all this will develop once you start chanting. So that is why the japa is so powerful. The verbal chanting is 10 times more meritorious than the ritual oblation, sacrifice. And upamsu, that is whispering like, is 100 times more meritorious. And manasikava is 1000 times meritorious. It is not my word, it is the Manusmriti says, the Manu who has written Dharma about Dharma, what is Dharma and all that. Even Linga Purana talks about japa. Shiva says to his consort Parvati Devi, in all the other yajna, some form of injury is done either through thought, word, or deed. But in Japa Yajna, there is no such injury. Therefore, Japa Yajna is the greatest of all. This is what Shiva says to Parvati. Vagartha viva samprikto, Vagartha pradipattaye. Jagata Pidaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro. The Vak and Artha are twin, always together. If he is the word, she is the meaning. If she is the word, he is the meaning. Like that Shiva Shakti, it's all how we, it may be name given by us, but that is the truth. How do we describe something unknown? So like that it started. So we are all that. So our goal is to become that, beyond, both together and beyond all the past. So let us start the pranayama. First, take a comfortable position, as I've been telling. Spine erect is the ideal. So for that, you make yourself comfortable, whatever way. So that energy moves up. Automatically, Muladhara gets opened up. The Kundalini power or Sarpan power we talk about is already posited in the Muladhara chakra. So our goal is to bring it up. And this also symbolically or beautifully explained. See, Rajalakshmi Garu was telling, Ganesha. So I put it the another way. She is Kundalini sleeping energy there. That is Kundalini. So awaken that. Awakening, if you are a human being, it has to be awakened. Otherwise, no use of living. Like a jada, like an animal, prani. So the prana, shakti, you have to rise. So first, I would say you become Ganesha. Who is Ganesha? Is Manasika Putra of Devi, Shiva and Shakti. Okay. So you become Ganesha and sit on her lap. That's what you are doing. And asking mother. So when you are born, first we know only mother. right? Mother has to introduce to us who is father. So like that, you become Manasika, Putra, you become Ganesha and start the journey. So the mother will happily take us. That is sadhana. And where she will take us through this path to Shiva, Sahasrara Chakra. Then union happens there. So that is sadhana, right? So taking comfortable position, taking deep breaths, few rounds, minimum 3 always, 3, 3, 3, every 3 gunas, tripuras, 3 nadis. So much is there about 3, gross, subtle, causal, stula, sushma, karana, and going beyond that. Anandamaya kosha is karana sharira, beyond that. But dwelling there, that is, you are in Sattva there. And going beyond everything. I am Atman Brahman, one of the Mahavakyas. Then we realize that this Atman itself is Brahman, not different. Hope you have taken deep breath. Now let's do Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, preferably Nasika Mudra or whichever comfortable. Without strain we should do. That salt spine should be erect always. Start preferably from left nostril. There is no hard and fast rule, but you see the difference. Chandranadi first. Exhale fully. Inhale through the left Chandra. Hold for a moment. Closing, then opening your right, slowly, steadily. Again, hold for a few moments, comfortable level, then inhale, slowly, steady. Hold again, Kupaka. Open your left nostril. This is one cycle, 2 breaths you are taking. So like that, do 9 more cycles. That is 18 breaths. Continue at your own pace. When you practice pranayama, your breathing rate comes down, slows down. So also your thoughts.
And start another 30 seconds.
Om. 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 Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running,